I've been creating a new methodology or piece of intellectual property based on something that customers have asked me for, or I thought they had asked me for, which has been built and tested directly with those customers. And it's a new mindset and set of techniques for totally reinventing meetings. So here's the thing. I've validated that my customers have a problem. So every customer I talk to says, yes, we absolutely hate meetings and meetings are a big problem in our organization. I've validated that people think that my solution looks like it will solve the problem. So they look at what I've created called Lomo and they say, that looks awesome. However, they are not buying it yet. What gives?
Your question?
What should I do?
Okay, well, how many people know about it so far?
Well, I have released it informally on LinkedIn. So I've done a number of posts on LinkedIn, perhaps 3. And then I've done 2 experiment campaigns. One is I've done an email, sort of special, the email we always use at One Fish, Two Fish to generate new clients in that space. And that went to 800 people, 800 HR directors, which you could argue are not the right people, but that is our normal audience. And normally we would get 10 responses and 5 meetings from that. And we got absolutely 0. I've also, that's experiment 1 is essentially, can we come in and talk to you about meetings? There's this new cool thing, and is there an interesting conversation about meetings? No expectations or assumptions. And with a view to trying to win bigger pieces of project work, consultancy work. We've also released an introductory 3-hour open workshop, which is called Discover Lomo, explaining that it's a new thing and how you can have a taster of it and see if it might be right for your organisation and pull it around and play with it. And we have 8 people who've booked on that. I have identified a personal blocker, which is my fear that the product is not good enough, or that it's addressing a very big problem and it doesn't do it well enough yet, has definitely restricted the number of people I have communicated to about it.
What would you describe as the commercial benefit to an organisation that use it?
Yeah, so I think there are 2 main areas. One is literally around improving the reducing the friction that meetings cause. So reducing the absolute amount of time that people spend in meetings, not working on other stuff, to improve the outcomes of those meetings. So stuff gets done faster, better decisions are made, things move forward more quickly. So a product gets to market more quickly, a problem is solved more quickly. And then thirdly, that the people generally in the business feel less frustrated and disengaged by the amount of meetings they have to go to, and therefore are less likely to leave, and etc. So that's one bundle, which is just around the meeting. The other bundle is around, and that's where we started, and that was the email that went out to the HR directors. The other area that I've identified is that lots of organizations, big organizations, are trying to change their culture. They're trying to become faster, more agile, more open, more data-driven, more self-responsible. So they are trying to make a large cultural shift. And our argument is that if that's commercially the right thing for you to do, then changing the way you do meetings is a good way to tackle that, because a meeting is a very tangible cultural proxy and something you can change quite quickly, and everybody goes to meetings. That then gives people an opportunity to practice and experience that new culture, the outcome of that culture being essentially being better able to compete in a changing world.
Okay. And is there any proof of concept other than the validation in theory?
There is there are 2 ongoing test cases. And I would say the short answer is no. They are testing them, wrestling with it, trying things out. And we are together learning the best way to roll this kind of thing out, or even just have some of the techniques catch fire. We have one great one-liner from one customer who said, I go to more meetings now, but I spend 70% less time in meetings, which is great. But that's very different from saying our whole organization has X, Y, Z.
What I'm wondering is about the timing of your launch, and also the audience that you're launching it to. And from what you've learned so far, what would you say about timing, first of all, linking it with validation in terms of a commercial and ROI on this new methodology, and then secondly, the decision makers for this, who are they likely to be? Those 2 things to me seem to be linked, and that's where I'm wondering things haven't taken off how you have hoped from looking at those 2 in a bit more detail. If that makes sense, then I think it's worth spending a few minutes examining that.
Yes. So what great questions. So the immediate kind of aha moment I've just had is that we already know nobody has meetings on their to-do list. It's not on any HR director's to-do list. Everyone feels the pain of it. Nobody's doing a project to sort it out. However, and therefore at this stage where we are essentially unvalidated, so the other thing, exactly as you say, the other thing we haven't validated yet is, does Lomo solve the problem? We think we know it does in part because it draws a lot from Agile, but does it solve the problem? Don't know. So at this stage, the people who are interested in that are people who love new stuff. So they're the early adopters, and the people who are always wanting to be cutting edge. So the first thing we need to do at this stage is find those people and not even attempt to go out to early majority, certainly not late majority, until we have those people and that case. And then we need to get across the chasm. That's obvious.
Okay, because to me, Carrie, if that's useful enough, of course we can go into more detail in terms of how it works, what it does, the pricing, and so on. But it strikes me that there's a timing that above all, the timing of what you've done with the emails is probably too early then, and that if you go another number of months testing it, proving it is the word, proving that it works, getting some case studies with measurable return on investment, I would also then question the cultural versus commercial outcome and who you'd like to appeal to, because to go from the early adopters to the early majority, there's a question mark in my head, and I don't have an answer as to whether to go for the commercial play or the cultural play. And my sense is not to try both, to lead on one or the other, if that makes sense. On, we will save your company 10% of, of your, will improve your efficiency by 5% or 10%, which could be equal to hundreds of thousands of pounds in a large organization. Buy this product, it's great. Or if you're a purpose-led organization that wants to engage people and have cultural shifts, which leads to commercial benefit, then lead with that. I think there's a little bit of more clarity needed in which message you're leading on, and then when you lead on it.
Which has given me another aha moment, which is fantastic. Thank you so much, Alan. Brilliant.